You think you're invincible because you got money, bombs, guns, and planes, killing babies, innocent people. I think you're insane. Chaos and destruction is the name of your game. Somebody's got to stop you before the whole world goes up in flames. So he told me to tell you, I'll fight
Fight for my brothers, we can go to war. Fight for my father, I will give my life for. I feel so alone in this white man's world. Whip it in the kitchen, watch that white turn pearl. Standing on the corner, standing on my phone. Standing with my gangsters, but I'm standing on my own. If you better be his own, spend you like you did alone. Sacrifice my life, understanding each his own. Toast to the keys of success. Bare layer rose on my breath. I've been a student since '03, and we can fight till we see peace. I fight like that. 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 I fight like that.
Let me holler at you for a minute, give you game. Real scrappy, love to bada Buddha bang. Trigger happy, and everybody in the game. You shot your family and didn't even know it, man. Same rules, same code, with a different slang. Struck him out and now they took him out the picture frame. Mama, don't cry, we gon' get by. 2 weeks later, got killed in a drive-by. Why must we fight amongst each other? Reach one, each one, teach one, my brother. I teach them how to fight on the grass and in the class. Snoop Dogg, all stars, yes sir, they coming fast. D1, football, we won. Now I'm proud of my son, Lil Snoop, yes sir, cause he won. Right on, SC, fight on. We 100, keep it coming, dip, slip, slide on, light on. I fight like that, 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 I fight like that.
Watching the warriors, the story of the rebels. You from the ghetto, did you know never to settle? I'm shooting common on the streets, I'm a pharaoh. Battling in African-American apparel. This on a t-shirt, youngins doing street work. Grinding till they teeth hurt, that's because they need work. Working till the feet hurt, trying to get my soul right. Used to be on old bikes, serving them that cold white. Wars in the winters, the block is hot in summers. Today's mathematics, we know it's strength in numbers. To the bosses and the runners, the hustlers and the stunners. We fight for the hundreds, we fight for the oneness.
He fights with the heat. He fights with the sleet. He said, I am who I am. I can't be beat. Nobody has won a war against me.
I fight like that, 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 I fight.
All of the nations of the earth as we speak are angry. They're angry because governments cannot suffice the needs of their people. They're angry because a few have gotten wealthy at the expense of the many, and the poor and the sick and the weak and the unlearned multiply. And the value of their lives are diminished by the rich and the powerful, so that when human life is devalued, that in the eyes of man you are unworthy of the gift of life, then it is easy for another human being to take the life of another human being that he or she has devalued. Black life America is devalued. Hispanic life is devalued. Even poor white life is devalued. There's a way that I have to behave. I'm free, but I'm not free to rob you of yours. I'm not free to take from you what does not belong to me. So if I will construct my life according to these righteous principles, then between man and man, man and woman, between race and race, between rich and poor, have our beautiful Mexican family. This once was theirs. So you can't say to them they are aliens. That's a horrible word to use for former owners. I see my indigenous family here. Many tribes, but they're really one great nation of people that now must be reunited with themselves. So it's their time now, as well as ours, that God would intervene in our affairs and bring the bottom rail to the top. The government is not rehabilitating soldiers. When they send you away to kill. When you come home, they gotta reconstitute you for civilian life again. Make sure you have a job so you can take care of your family, but they're not doing it. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says a woman can do anything that a man does, and the only thing he forbids the woman to do is the thing that degrades her.
show you how you can act independently and take your life in your own hands. Wherever you are, whatever you do, Freebay will show you the right way. Be a part of us and let your adventure begin with Freebay.
This show is empowering. This show is about community.
This show is enlightening.
This show is about growth. Let us make man. Let us make man. Let us make man.
Let us make man.
Let us make man.
Invest in Africa. I know we touched on it a little bit earlier. I'd like to go a little bit more deeper in depth.
Mm-hmm.
Why should we invest in Africa? I know why we should invest in Africa, but I would like for us to tell the masses, the whole world.
Well, this is what I can tell you. I know a lot of times we have the tendency to blame the white man for everything that's going wrong, right?
Mm.
And
White man is fucked up. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm just playing.
No, I mean that's how
Maybe not.
That's the majority of African Americans in America feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not saying nothing that everybody don't feel. That don't necessarily mean it's true.
Right.
But with the circumstances that surround us, that's why we believe that way. You know, so at the end of the day, it was like if you are in a position in life where you feel like you don't own your own content, you don't own anything, and they should be investing in us. This is the opportunity now to be able to own that in which we're complaining about.
Mm.
Because in Africa, it's a clean slate. You can build that empire there. You can build that infrastructure there. And you already got the information. You're already educated on how to do it because we've done it here and made billions of dollars for corporations all day. Africa is the only place in the world where Black people can go and build Fortune 500 companies from scratch within 5 years.
It could be like China, easily.
No, seriously. And this took them hundreds of years to build. You can build it now within 5 years.
Yeah.
China took that same, mind state 25 years ago. China was no different from Africa 25 years ago. Go to China now. Look at Dubai, the Middle East. They just started 15 years ago and started building the same concept.
I'm kind of, me just want to be 100%. I understand what you exactly mean. So you're saying that Africa right now. So how can Africa be the new China? How can we say that? So
Black people.
For all our Black people, yes.
Go back to Africa.
Okay.
Whatever you're doing here, do it there. Whether it's real estate, entertainment, education,
label, sneaker company,
whatever,
clothing line,
whatever.
Start it there.
Do it there. Don't even start it. Do it there. It's gonna grow out of there anyway. But Africa's big enough you won't ever have to need no other country anyway. Think about it. Everything you do
You
is
say
in
you get
America.
hot in Africa.
No, you don't.
Well, it depends on you said
Africa's
country,
the second
but it
biggest
depends on the
continent
country
in the
in
world.
Africa.
It's over 1 billion people.
Who's the biggest continent? Europe?
Huh?
Who's the biggest continent?
Well, it's continent and country.
Asia is the
Asia.
biggest continent.
Asia, and that's
Then
China,
Africa.
Korea.
It's all them
Russia,
and India, all them put together though.
Right,
That makes Asia.
right.
And it's not that much bigger than Africa. And Africa is the second biggest continent.
With more natural resources as well.
With all the natural resources.
Right.
That's the difference.
Mm.
So we literally got a pot of gold and nobody even going for it.
Exploited by
So
outsiders.
how do we
as well.
start this? How do we start to say, you know what? Let's invest back in the motherland. Let's
I think the key is, first of all, you got to release the fear because a lot of, African Americans are afraid to go to Africa.
no, because I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
Which I mean, naturally,
I was offered so many shows to Africa, I'll be honest. And then they told me I could get shots. And I was like, I'm good.
mhm.
And I'd never actually been to Africa because I didn't want to get the shots. I didn't know they injecting shit in me. Like I was scared.
Mhm.
This is back in the day.
That's why I said you got to release the fear.
Gotta release the fear.
You have to because first of all, only white people need shots to go to Africa. Black people don't need no shots to go to Africa.
But why
They
is that even a rumor that you need shots to go to Africa?
I mean, it's fear. The same way they told you AIDS started in Africa.
Wow.
You could die from malaria. They telling you all this stuff. None of that stuff is real.
Wow. Wow.
They tell you, well, you go to Africa, you gotta take, shots, and you gotta take like 5 or 6 different, types of shots to save you from this, save you from that,
But
save you
why
from
does
this.
that rumor even exist though?
I mean, the hope because they know the value of black people going back home. Can you just imagine if African Americans in America decided, you know what, man, fuck America, we going back home, and then all the value that we bring here, we took over there. America wouldn't exist no more.
Well,
Hey, pay close attention. Let's get it.
It's not just one vector killing black people. It's 5 or 6 different vectors. It's in the food, it's in the vaccines, it's in the medicine, it's in the psychiatric drugs. Oh, and let's get to the food because this is the final chapter of this that will absolutely shock you. Now, you're hopefully aware of genetic engineering of the food supply, right? They're called GMOs or genetically modified organisms. This is an advanced science technique to alter the DNA of food crops in order to build in certain traits and physical properties or even chemical properties that the scientists want to put into the food. Now, I'm going to explain to you how your food is now being weaponized as an extermination vector to eliminate black lives. All right. Now, I'm a food scientist. I'm the author of Food Forensics. It achieved the #1 best-selling science book on Amazon.com. I'm the co-author of science papers that have been published in mainstream science journals. I'm not just a casual layperson when it comes to food science. I run a mass spec laboratory that's ISO accredited, validated, audited, inspected, passed many, many tests. Our data can be used in a court of law anywhere around the world. We do food analysis. We can search for complex molecules such as pesticides or elements such as mercury or cadmium. So I run the lab. I am the lab science director. I know a thing or two about food science. Now, what they have invented, when I say they, I'm talking about the genetic engineers, not only have they found a way to put these genetically engineered traits into food crops, they've now found a way to cause food crops to grow RNA fragments that can be specifically targeted like bioweapons to interfere with the physiological processes of targeted species that might eat the food. Now, this technology is called RNA interference technology. It's relatively new compared to GMOs, relatively new. It's being touted now as a technology to eliminate the use of pesticides because what they're saying is they can cause a corn crop to grow RNA fragments that will kill the insects that eat the corn without having to use pesticides like toxic chemicals that overload the insect nervous system and kill it from and nervous system breakdown, and so on. This RNA interference technology is a pesticide technology, but it doesn't rely on pesticide chemicals. It relies on RNA fragments in the food. Now, what's disturbing about this is that this technology can be fine-tuned to target a specific race of humans who eat the food. I want you to follow me very carefully on this because most people have never heard of this before. They've never heard of this technology. They don't know it can be targeted by race. Food crops can be engineered right now based on existing technology to cause infertility in Black people alone. That technology is a reality. It's widely covered out there in the mainstream media, in the science media. RNA interference technology is widely covered. And they openly talk about how it can be used to target specific physiological processes of certain insect species. They can interfere with DNA repair or protein synthesis in insects. They can interfere with fertility or reproduction. They can interfere with mobility, a nervous system interaction with the musculoskeletal system, or depending on what animal we're talking about, other systems, endoskeleton systems. I ask you, does that technology exist? The answer is yes. It absolutely exists right now. Are they using that technology? I ask you, do a little bit of research, look at the plummeting sperm production in Black men. Sperm production is plummeting in Black men. Sperm production is precisely the kind of physiological process that can be targeted by RNA interference technology. Now, is that proof that the food crops are being engineered to cause sperm production to plummet in Black men? No, it's not proof. But when you connect the dots of all the other things that are being done covertly, this becomes something very likely in the realm of possibility. It would take a lot of advanced testing to find this out. And guess who controls the funding? Guess who controls nearly all the science funding in America today? The federal government. The same government that allows the CDC to cover up the truth about vaccines and Black children. The same government that funds Planned Parenthood abortions of Black babies. The same government that covers up the EPA-induced contamination of waterways affecting Native Americans and other populations, including the Flint, Michigan, predominantly Black population. This government, same government that runs the FBI, that wanted Martin Luther King Jr. to commit suicide. It's the same government. The government is at war with you. If you're Black and you're watching this, the government is at war with you, and they want you to exterminate it, and they control the science funding, which means there will never be money for any genetic science of the food supply to uncover this truth. If it were there, it would be covered up like everything else has been covered up this entire time. Just like the Tuskegee experiments covered things up in the 1930s. Nothing has changed, except the technology is more advanced. The covert technology is more covert. The number of vectors through which they can kill you and cause you to have no children, cause you to have spontaneous abortions, the number of vectors is increasing. You are being targeted. And like I said earlier, to some extent, we're all being targeted. But Black people are being targeted more than anyone else. So what do we do with all this information? What do we do? Do you take to the streets and bash heads? No. It doesn't get you anywhere. The problem is the consolidation of power in the institutions of science and medicine. The problem is that science has been taken over by globalist agendas and depopulation agendas and government funding. The problem is that we don't have a decentralization of science. The problem is, if you will allow me to even invoke this terminology, the problem is that we are all slaves to science tyranny as it is being operated today. We're all slaves. We're living under a science dictatorship that refuses to tell us the truth and yet targets our brothers and sisters, our children, our grandchildren with extermination agendas through medicine, through food, like everything we've talked about. That's the problem We need independent science. We need decentralization. We need more labs like my lab that I operate independently. We don't take any government money. That's why I can tell you this truth. You think if I were on the payroll of some big corporation that used government money, do you think I could stand here and tell you this truth? No way. Not a chance. It would yank your funding so fast, cover it up, sweep it under the rug. I can only stand here today because I have no financial ties to the system that's murdering all of you. Nor will I ever have financial ties to that system. I refuse to take money from satanic forces. I refuse to take money from murderous regimes. And that's what the United States government is today. It is a murderous regime, and it has been that way under President Obama, President Bush. It's beyond any single president. It has nothing to do with Trump. It's the bureaucracy, the momentum of genocide that is endemic in the culture of the CDC, in the culture of the FDA, in the culture of the EPA, that is beyond the reach of any one candidate or any one politician. And it has persisted for generations, and it continues to persist, and it will continue to target you and murder you and cause you disease and cause you brain damage and cause your children autism until the day comes that we, the people, decide to stand up and take back our liberty from this murderous regime that commits murder and genocide in the name of science and medicine. And that is what we must do. I don't think it's a goal that can be achieved through violence, and I don't call for violence because that is being inflicted against us in far too many ways. It must start with awareness. And so the only thing I ask of you watching this, listening to this, even if you don't believe every chapter of the talk here, maybe you find some of them hard to believe so far. Only thing I ask of you is share this information. Share this video. Share this talk. Have a public viewing in a church. Maybe you've got a black church somewhere. Invite your congregation to watch this if you dare. If you want to know the truth about this from a scientist, an independent scientist who sees what's happening and refuses to be silent and refuses to be exploited by the evil that exists in our world, the murderous evil in the name of science, stealing life away from black families and black mothers and pursuing a goal of global extermination through medicine and science. We cannot stand for it. We must change our future together. And we're not going to do that, by the way, by fighting with each other over skin color or race. Do not let the system divide us, because the system is actually murdering us, but they're trying to keep us distracted. In the meantime, they want black and white to fight against each other in the streets, don't they? You better believe they do. They want you to not trust each other because they are the murderers. They, the system, they're murdering us all to one extent or another, but they want us to be too busy bashing each other over the head with baseball bats to pay attention to the real murder that's taking place on the bigger scale, the global scale of murder and genocide. Don't allow yourself to be distracted. Do not fall into the depths of racial hate for anyone. Don't hate someone because of their skin color or their background, religion, sexual orientation, anything. Understand that it's we, the people, versus the system of murder and genocide, the scientific dictatorship that has, in one way or another, targeted us all. So we, the people, must stand together, unified, regardless of our race, unified with the knowledge and awareness that we have a right to live, and we have a right to have families, and we have the right to know the truth.
Well, that should have been a good getting up morning. Ready for Revolution, and welcome to another edition of Classes in Session. I'm your brother Eric Trey Muhammad, brother and friend. And again, we're looking at Hard Facts Fridays, and we deliver on our promises. Today, we have a special guests that are very dear to us, very dear to our world as wealth builders, but also very dear as heroes and sheroes in our entire community for what they do. And I want to introduce you to, at this time, as soon as I find the screen, our brother, sister, our friends and fellow wealth builders, Brother Mustafa and Sister Janetta Muhammad, Mr. and Mrs. CEO, CSOs. They are the CSOs in our world. They have a particular understanding what that means, but I'm telling you, CSO stands for constantly saving others. Constantly saving others.
You got that.
And proof is in the pudding, proof is in the report. And I'm really grateful and honored that they submitted to the request to be here with us on Hard Facts Fridays. You know, they really mean a lot to our community, and you're going to learn more about what they mean and what they represent. And much of what you saw from Papa Doc, and what you saw from author and scientist Mike Adams can't be overemphasized. There's a war, and in that war, it doesn't take two people declaring it. It just takes one willing to do the other. And that's where we are in this dynamic. So I want to introduce to you Brother Mustafa and Sister Janetta Muhammad. I'm going to mute my mic back and forth, but I want to welcome you all to class in session, Hard Facts Friday. So welcome, 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 welcome. Alaikum.
Walaikum salam, brother.
Walaikum salam. So this is going to be a dialogue, right?
Sure.
This is going to be a dialogue. So I say to our listening audience, I want to say to our listening audience, greetings, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum. It is our great privilege and honor to be on the stream with our sponsor, Brother Eric Muhammad. We like to say our own friend and brother. So you want to say something to them as well?
Yes, I would like to say greetings to the listening audience. And first and foremost, I would like to thank our brother Eric Muhammad for the invite. And I would be remiss if I didn't say, before we go any further, to thank the Creator for this opportunity. And as we go forth, I would like to thank those who have laid the foundation before us. And I would say this week or next week, we are approximately a year since we attended our first Wealth Builders Worldwide event. And I would like to give acknowledgement to those who came before us, Mr. Ty Best and his wife, Mr. Mike Delco and his wife, as well as a sister who I've been watching far off, our young sister, Tanisha Glaspie. And I have recently come to know our dear sister, Sister Roz Ranger, and many of the others who I've been watching and admiring. And I am honored to be a part of Wealth Builders Worldwide, not just myself. And as I listened over the last year or so, and family seems to be a key ingredient in the success of this great, magnificent organization. And I often hear Mr. Dakai just say, enough time. And one thing for sure, we as well believe in family. So what we have done, we have 3 daughters who happen to be part of Wealth Builders Worldwide, as well as expanding to our grandchildren as well. And I will say this, my background is in finance. And over the years, I've been a part of many different organizations, marketing organizations. And I will say, Wealth Builders Worldwide is second to none. And in my humble, so I would like to conclude on that note for now, deeper into the health aspect.
I want to start just play what I want to show what we're understand that I come from there's an old born doc speak to people. We don't believe.
Your sound is gone, Mustafa. Your sound is gone. No sound, Mustafa. No sound. No sound, Mustafa. No sound.
It keeps muting itself for some reason. How
now.
am I now?
We got you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You got me now? For some reason, it keeps muting itself. So I don't know. I don't know what you didn't hear or what the last note. Could you tell me the last note that came through that I was speaking on? Any of
we heard you now.
Oh, wow.
We didn't hear you at all.
All right. So okay, well, let's go back. All right. I said I was very appreciative of the video that you played by Papa Doc. I think it was very striking. It was very informative. I'm glad to have heard it, and I'm glad that the listening with the misinformation and the confusion in the mental state that we oftentimes we don't want to believe things face that's a white face. We live in a society, in a world, because white supremacy has affected us in such a way that we think things are not authentic unless they come from a white face. But I was glad to hear him speak of what the federal government has done and is doing to us as a people. And that has nothing to do with color. It has nothing to do with color, none whatsoever, but the truth is the truth. I believe in truth that the most powerful thing on the planet or in existence itself is not money, it's not power. It is the truth. It is the truth. And it is the truth that the Bible says shall set you free. So we've been born in a state of war. We are in the midst of a state of war. And despite the fact that we have historical context that has shown and proved to us in his research that we are living amongst an enemy on this planet that does everything to destroy life. So in the midst of that, and really understanding that wealth is health and health is wealth. The only way we can enjoy our wealth when we build it as Kaaba affiliates, FreeBay affiliates, is that in order to build wealth and to enjoy wealth. So in Dianetics, dynamic principle of existence is to survive. So the first principle of anything is to survive. But we're living in the midst of what Papa Doc was saying. These things have been weaponized. This virus has been weaponized. That's why there's a patent on it. So we urge all of our listening brothers and sisters, whether in CAD bars, whether you're not in CAD bars, doesn't have nothing to do with your religion, has nothing to do with your color, because COVID-19 don't give a damn what your religion is. It doesn't give a damn what your color is. It doesn't give a damn what your culture is. It doesn't give a damn what language you speak. What you it will kill you just as fast as it kill anybody else. Louis Farrakhan urged us to get on the criterion when he spoke to the world on July 4th. He said, we want alpha interferon. We call it Paxamune. The reason why name that the law, they manipulate politicians by way of farming away from the people. It is a natural cytokine. This is the science. It is a natural cytokine, meaning your body is a biological. Your body produces it, but not enough to kill this weaponized disease. This weaponized disease consists of a mutagenic strain. A mutagenic strain that consists of COVID-19, influenza, tuberculosis, and HIV. It changes. So those who think, oh, I had COVID-19, I don't have it no more. Well, yes, you do. You do have it. If you have alpha interferon in your system to seek it out and to kill it. Because that's the only thing that will change forms with it. We're not in vaccines. The Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan said, we will not take your vaccine. We urge our people not to take their vaccines. I just got to make it very plain and very clear to you. The only way to survive is to arm yourself, your body, with interferon, which is immune. And we urge you to this move, which is your immunity project. We are not just CAD bars affiliates. We do not just enjoy the blessings of FreeBay that it brings to us. And I want you to understand there is a transition that is taking place in this world as angels are ascending and angels are descending. An old world going out and a new world coming in. In the same way that CAD bars is going through a transition because we are in the midst of a struggle in a war with that old world that is not just laying down. They don't want to see this new money system of equitable distribution. So at the same way they're trying to kill us, they're trying to keep us from enjoying our wealth. But we must survive in order to live within a system that is coming bars and transitioning into FreeBay, like a caterpillar is coming from that into a cocoon that we use Paxamune to save our lives so we may be butterflies and fly in FreeBay. Soar to new heights, but we have to live. So we have to cocoon ourselves in this dangerous environment with what we call interferon. The minister said we need the remedy that would come from heaven. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan sent Dr. Abdul Alim and Dr. Barbara Justice to Kenya over 30 years ago of Dr. David Koresh. Dr. David Koresh is in interferon being used as a remedy to kill these viruses. Fauci knows this. Alim Muhammad and Dr. Barbara Justice and Dr. Harold Aubrey 30 years ago before NIH with this, along with other doctors, and were defeated, but they swept it under the rug. So I just wanted to get that out as a groundbreaker to you, some information to you. If you want more information, we want you to reach out to this wonderful, wonderful remedy that will save your life. And so if you're paying attention, you will see little by little, because this genie can't be kept in a bottle. But there has been conferences that's going on around the globe. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been calling Muhammad along with your immunity. 31 states. Distributing yourself. So there's an economical component to it as well. But the main thing is, like I said, as Dianetic Orders, my wife and I, we are both Dianetic Orders. The main thing in the dynamic principle of existence is to survive. Yes, we want to thrive, and we got Karatbars and Freebay in order to do that, to reclaim our wealth. That is our God-given right. But in order to enjoy that God-given right, we have to survive. Not unless you want to render your life to a mystery God, but a mystery God will not save you. You have to be the God to save yourself the same way you save your gold, the same way you save your money. In generational wealth, you must save your life. Yes, sir. You wanted to say something, brother?
Yes, sir. Allow me to add this. Here's an abstract, and you see the link there at the bottom of your screen. You might need to screenshot this, review this, share it out with others so you can read the facts on it itself. Here's an abstract of what came out of a study. All right, and this study was produced at the genesis, or at the growth of the surgence of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, I'm going to share something with you. Then I'm going to highlight a couple of points. All right, the objective to investigate the efficacy and safety of recombinant human interferon, alpha interferon nasal drops in healthy medical staff to prevent coronavirus disease from spreading. I'm paraphrasing. They decided to use this along with as a low risk, along with a hypodermic injection for those who are in high risk areas. These are doctors, these are nurses, these are staff persons in most of the provinces in China, including Wuhan. All right, this is what I want to cite for you. They used the alpha interferon, or Paximune. Okay, they utilized that, and let me just share you the results. Or let me tell you how they did it. Participants in the low risk received the RHIFN and nasal drops, that's your alpha interferon, 2 to 3 drops nostril time 4 times a day for 28 days with first level protection. Other in the high risk group received identical nasal drops combined with thymosin. I always mess it up when I want to say it out loud. Along with a secondary level of third level protection. All right, now. The primary outcome was new onset COVID-19 over 28 days, meaning they want to know what the results were. I want you to hear this. I want you to pay attention. The secondary outcome was new onset fever or respiratory symptoms, but not with negative pulmonary images. The results were compared with new onset COVID-19 in medical staff in Hubei province, including Wuhan, during the same period. Now, results among the 2,944 subjects in our study. 2,415 were included in the low-risk group, including 997 doctors and 1,418 nurses with average ages of 37, 38, and 33, and up to 56 years, respectively. 529 of them were included in the high-risk group, including 122 doctors and 407 nurses with average ages of 35, 24, and 32.16 years, respectively. The 28-day incidence of COVID-19 was 0. 0 in both the high and low risk groups. The 28-day incidence of new onset clinical symptoms with negative images for pneumonia was also 0 in both the high and low risk groups. As control, a total of 2,035 medical personnel with confirmed COVID-19 from the same area, Hubei province, was observed between January 21st through February 23rd, 2020. No serious adverse events were observed in our trial during the intervention period. Conclusion: in this investigator-initiated open-label study, we observed that Alpha interferon, a nasal drop, may effectively prevent COVID-19 in medical staff as an enhancement protection on the basis of standard physical isolation. Our results also indicate that the alpha interferon drops have potential promise for protecting susceptible healthy people during the coronavirus pandemic. Family, this is Hard Facts Friday. Please, family, elaborate on it as you like.
Go ahead, Jeanette. Go ahead.
Yes, just to add a little note, I would like to start with you stated, Brother Eric. You said CSO. I would like to make it very clear, as he had stated, constantly saving others. My husband and I, we are childhood sweethearts. We've been married for 46 years. So we've been in the struggle, working with the community, working with people around the country. And in doing so, we have the ardent desire to see people free, even prior to coming into Karatbars. We understand that. We understand that we all was born into a system, the essential that which Karatbars offered us. Because we understand the importance of dealing with the family, truly not have control of the macroeconomics, the community or the nation at whole, but we do have to build micro, and we will spread abroad. We understand that. So we're leaving one system to another. And no, everything contains a system. Even the human body is a cysteron, is something which the body, environment which we live in. Our system have been compromised. None of us are excluded. The water we drink, the food we eat, and even the GMO food we eat, we all have been impacted one way or another. So we're not here for the purpose of sell anything. Just like Karatbars, we're not trying to sell a product. We're actually sharing information, and that you may take that information and do what's best for you. So it is imperative that you do your research. But however, as the previous speaker had stated, that we are at war, to that realization. It's not about class, creed, or color. We are at a time where the whole globe, the whole earth has been infants of the earth are affected by it. And as we watch Cuba go abroad to help curb this coronavirus, we should have to raise the question, what are the curb the coronavirus? So again, it is that we do what's good for ourselves, for our family, and our fellow citizens. It is imperative that we become one in this fight. And I will say this, to whom much is given, much is required. And there has never been anything on the earth that was, and as we now move to a strategic maneuver that makes
let me just add to that too, family. You know, it was mentioned that by the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan that there was what old folks always said to us: a bird in the hand is better than the bird in the bush. There's one therapy that we do know about. It has been tried, tested, and proven for over 30 years. It has a track record. You know, it's been in existence and discovered over 50 years ago. But since Dr. Abdul Ali Muhammad, like I said to you earlier, Dr. Barbara Justice went to Kenya. If you go back and look at the film, Dr. Abdul Ali Muhammad stood a brother on the stage and said this brother had full-blown, and that was used by Kimron, that is interferon. Kimron was the brand name then, but interferon is a system. So today, the brand name that we have today is called Paximune, but it's the same thing. It's interferon. So we do have interferon. My wife said, search for, you know, function supersedes structure. You know, so by all means, you know, act, trust, and look at the history. I don't see. My wife want to add something.
No, that's okay. I'll pass.
Okay. Listen, we would, if you see my information, you send me a message, you can call me. I'll give you my number right 430015 at Gmail. Mustafa Muhammad 15 to prevent any kind of virus and help you to help save your community, your family, and people around you with this wonderful product that we call Paximune, which is interferon. And then you may save gold, and you may flourish in what we call freebie, so we may build a new society and enjoy wealth, freedom, justice, inequality.
This is another brother by the name of Elton Muhammad. You can also contact him as well.
Absolutely. Brother Elton Muhammad, he's in Texas there. Our wonderful brother. Elton Muhammad, a wonderful distributor for Paximune, for interferon, as man. Distributors of this wonderful to protect your life, to secure you, and protect you, so that we may save gold and build this new kingdom.
Family, I want to thank y'all so much. Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, family, I want to thank y'all so much.
Yes, sir.
There's a couple of things that's going to happen with this broadcast, family. Yes. One, it's all over the country. And so what we're going to do, it'll be in replay everywhere. I believe Calfani Radio Facebook page will have it in replay again at 5 this evening. But I'm going to do a live stream with the three of them again, just to round out what was broken up and what you could not hear in this particular dialogue. And we'll keep you posted as to when that will occur. But I don't want you to negate the fact that the truth has been absolutely dropped here today. Okay, facts have been dropped here today. And just like it is with everything in our opportunity as wealth builders, we understand that in order to really protect your wealth, you have to have a healthy mindset. You have to have a healthy emotional state. You have to have a healthy physical constitution in order to fully absorb and appreciate what is in your hands and what you intend to leave for generations to come. Generational wealth goes beyond money, and of course, is about the total resource. And as you saw in the presentation yesterday with TD Jakes, you find that in belief, it encompasses all things. It's a wholesome element. You know, and when they mentioned freedom, justice, and equality, I didn't hear freedom, justice, and equality just for, or I didn't hear freedom, justice, and equality for only. They said freedom, justice, and equality. They live their moniker. They are CSOs. They are constantly saving others. They are constantly serving others. And I don't know no better way than to thank them for what they shared by reaching out. You need to reach out to them. You need to reach out to them and get more information, find out about the other distributors that are in your areas. But more importantly, don't take what was shared for granted. You know, class is in session for an absolute reason. I want to thank the We Are Farrakhan Facebook page for jumping in. And I want to thank all of you who have been a part of this session. Allow me to go through the housekeeping notes as we conclude. And as soon as I can get to them, I'm so fired up. And those facts, facts don't lie. Facts do not lie. Y'all got me so fired up. I'd extend it if I can get away with it, but I can't. www.runtowealth.info. I need all of you to go to that page. That's my personal page, but I want you to go to that page and submit your email address. Your email address so we can keep you updated on some phenomenal things that are coming immediately after Let's Go Weekend. You want to be in this group. So go to the Run to Wealth, the VIP email list. Go to runtowealth.info. That's www.run2wealth.info and join our mailing list there. All right. Also, you can find us on YouTube. You can go to Eric Trey Muhammad YouTube channel. And you can subscribe there. You can like, you can share. You can go to the Run to Wealth Freebay AG on the Facebook page. You can subscribe, like, and share there. But you'll find today's broadcast and other class and session programming on both the YouTube channels as well as the Run to Wealth Freebay AG. And of course, classes in session here tomorrow, as we are every Monday through Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern. We're going to continue tomorrow as Sister Roz Range requested. We're going to continue tomorrow with Bishop T.D. Jakes to finish out that portion of Believe. Y'all might want to come on and join me for church. Not church, but church. Come join me for church tomorrow at 8 a.m. And of course, today, 10:45 a.m. Eastern is the mighty Freedom Friday Power Call with Mr. Rodney Berger and friends. So we'll be there on www.goldrocks.info. We'll also have the 12 noon presentation as well as the 9 p.m. presentation. You want to be there for both of those entities, and you may see me chime in there somewhere with a live stream or two between those times. www.goldrocks.info. The way to change the nature of our experiences is to change the nature of our thoughts. The way you change the nature of your thoughts is to take this information you heard today, utilize it to your advantage and grow. Hard Facts Fridays are exactly what they are. I can't tell you what's going to happen next week, but I can tell you it's going to be hard. So bring your steel toe boots, bring your big britches for men and women alike. Okay. Don't bring, it's not for the faint hearted. It's absolutely not for the faint hearted. Let's Go Weekend is next weekend. All right. Get your tickets now, folks. Go to www.letsgoweekend.com. Thursday through Saturday. It's going to be awesome. Dr. Harold Constantine Sykes will be with us along with Jürgen Pulvermuller, the CEO of Freebay, and other corporate leaders from around the world, including the cousins, Mr. and Mrs. Tyrone and Valerie Best, Mr. and Mrs. Michael and Monisha Dalco, and many of our wealth building leaders. A lot of great opportunities. A lot of things are coming out of it in extraordinary ways, and you want to be there. And of course, as Brother Dante Taylor says, you can't get in the game without your uniform. So make sure you visit shop.mywbw.net. That's shop.mywbw.net for the additional opportunities found to wear your gear, get your books, get all the paraphernalia related to your wealth building experience. I want to thank all of you, but I also want to make you aware that this is Friday. And Friday in the world of Kafani Radio is an awesome extravaganza, because on Friday we have the dynamic threesome. We got some serious programming going on, beginning with Miss Tyson Thompson at 4 p.m. And then we move into Collective Enlightenment with Sister El Ruby and her team there at 8 p.m. in our world of crypto. And then Brother Carlito Muhammad brings up the rear, and he'll be there tonight at 9 p.m. with Spotlight with Carlito, all on the Kafani Radio International Network. No media network, folks, has done more to globally elevate the culture and philosophy of wealth builders worldwide than the Kafani Radio International Network. If you know of another one, I'm telling you right now, I don't know it. Okay, so I want to thank again, Brother Mustafa and Sister Janetta, for allowing us the opportunity to share and be here with you. It was an extraordinary opportunity for us to learn. It's an extraordinary opportunity and day to earn in. And now you'll see a full benefit when you pull it all together. When you pull the financial health and well-being, when you pull those entities together, health and wealth, then you can truly live free. Who wants to amass all this money and can't do anything with it because you can't focus on anything but trying to survive the day because you can't breathe or because you're full of congestion and cold and pneumonia and all these other ailments. There's so much value. I want you to go back to this page. I want you to go back to that link and find out all the facts and the testimonies that are associated on that link. It is absolutely awesome. There are people who were visiting ICUs, got up and darn near ran up like they caught the ghost because they took they administered the supplement, and the supplement saved their lives. People have called me from all over the country, folks, want to know how to get a hold of this brother and sister because they're known for what they're pushing. And I say pushing, I don't mean it in a derogatory sense. I mean they are known for their contributions to society. I want to thank the CSOs, Brother Mustafa and Sister Janetta Muhammad. Thank y'all so much. May Allah continue to bless and keep all of us. Family, I'll see us all on the next live stream. Gotta go. Deuces.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Peace. Strong words. Love. Soul. And change. Yeah. This is Big Snoop Dogg. Coming at you live and direct. And I got something to say. You dig?
Let's change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, oh let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.
Brother, what will you discover if we come together and do it like we never? I'm just sick and tired. I'm fit to light the fire. Now put this on the wire. The devil is a liar. I do this with no hesitation. Meet me at the reservation. Elevating, educating, meditating, concentrating. Replenish ya, finish ya, opposite of sinister. And I do it for the minister.
Let's change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, so let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.
Somebody need to stop the war. Man, the war ain't overseas, it's at your front door. And I done seen too many brothers shot up on the floor for more than drugs and some colors. And now you call us warlords. But if you can help it, then help it. But you ain't helping us. You so selfish and selfless, you wanna see us breathless and helpless. But I'ma hustle to tussle for all my brothers who struggle. Yeah, we bang the world. Now let's change the world.
Let's change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, oh let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.
No killing, no shooting, no dying, no lying, no gang banging, so no more mamas crying. Everybody get along, man, that be the perfect song. Peace in the streets as I sit back on my phone, chilling with the president. He let me in the White House, back to the castle with the minister, no doubt. Shoes at the front door, love is what you come for. Let's get it right and unite, but do it for
Let's
ourselves.
change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, so let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Whoa, oh, change the world. Let's make hope for the future.